No one ever told you this. But there's an invisible line that separates those who live in abundance from those who live in struggle. It's not your degree. It's not your job. And it's definitely not luck. It's your mind. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money effortlessly, while others, maybe even you, right now, work hard, do all the right things, and still feel stuck in the same cycle? Maybe you grew up hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work your fingers to the bone to deserve anything. Rich people are all arrogant. Only those with connections make it to the top. Harmless words when we were kids, right? But they were seeds. And today, they've grown into invisible roots, quietly choking your potential. Bob Proctor used to say, poverty is not the lack of money. It's the lack of mindset. And the moment I truly understood that, the moment I stopped blaming the outside world, something shifted deep within me. It was like waking up from a collective trance. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Feel the air flowing in and out. Now imagine there are two versions of you living inside. One is rooted in scarcity, afraid, barely surviving. The other is abundant, confident, turning obstacles into opportunities. Here's the real question. Which one have you been feeding every single day? The truth is, you don't need to learn how to be rich. You need to unlearn how to be poor. Because your true nature, your essence, is abundance. You were programmed for survival, but you were born to expand. Everything changes when you start thinking the way prosperous people think. When you rewire your inner map to match the destination you truly want to reach. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter what your bank account says. It doesn't even matter how many times you've failed. If you can change your thinking, you change your frequency. And if you change your frequency, you change what you attract. Change what you attract, and you change your life. In this video, you're about to dive into the 7 mental codes that turn ordinary people into magnets for prosperity. Timeless principles that wealthy minds know and live by every single day. But first, take a deep breath. Bring your awareness to the now. Let go of the weight of debt, pressure, and anxiety. Because in the next few minutes, you're not just watching a video, you're reprogramming your reality. If this resonates with you, just imagine what's coming next. Hit subscribe now and get ready for the first code, the invisible root of wealth. Have you ever noticed that even when you make more money, the feeling of scarcity is still there? Like the money slips through your fingers, like there's a voice deep inside whispering, "It's not enough." That's not bad luck. It's programming. And as long as you try to change your reality without changing the root of your thinking, you're just trimming the branches, when what really needs to be pulled out is the root. Bob Proctor used to say, the subconscious mind is the soil. Thought is the seed. Picture your mind as a field. And for years, maybe decades, you've been planting seeds like, I'm not good enough. Money is hard to come by. Having too much will push people away. Rich people are selfish. Those seeds grew. They took root. And even though you might be saying today, I want to prosper, your mental field is still overgrown with old weeds. Think about it. You're trying to build a mansion on the foundation of a collapsed shack. The poverty mind has very specific traits. It focuses on survival. It constantly compares. It feels envy. It seeks approval. It feels guilty for receiving. And it pushes away what it claims to want. The wealthy mind, on the other hand, doesn't justify, doesn't compete. It reaps because it has sown. And it sows with full confidence in the harvest. And here's something most people will never tell you. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe to be true. If deep down you still believe that money corrupts, that success isolates, that prosperity brings loneliness, then you'll unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. You'll miss deadlines, turn down invitations, get distracted at the crucial moment. You'll hide, because your mind is trying to protect you, even if it means sacrificing your freedom. But what if you could pull those roots out? What if today was the very first day of the rest of your new mental reality? Start with this question. What do I really believe about money, and who taught me that? Maybe it was your dad, your mom, someone who lived in scarcity and did the best they could with what they knew. But now it's your turn. Now you have the chance to plant new seeds. It is like, I am a magnet for prosperity. Money is an extension of my positive energy. I deserve to live with ease, abundance, and freedom. You don't need to fight your old beliefs. You just replace them, like deleting a file and writing something new in its place. The mind is like a garden. It will always bloom. The only question is, what will you choose to plant? Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Tonight, before you go to sleep, write on a piece of paper, I choose to think like wealthy people think. Say it quietly to yourself. Feel the energy behind those words. You're starting to dig deep, clearing the fertile ground of your mind. And in the next chapter, we'll open the doors to the mindset of those who live prosperity naturally. You'll see why wealthy people don't see obstacles, only directions. Keep listening. What's coming next could be the key you've been searching for all these years. Have you noticed how prosperous people seem to see the world from a different place? While many panic over debt, inflation, and uncertainty, they stay calm, almost like they know something others don't. And the truth is, they do. They know a mindset that most people never learn. A set of invisible lenses through which they interpret life, money, and themselves. Bob Proctor said it best. You must become the kind of person who attracts what you want. And it all starts with the way you think. The poor mindset sees mistakes as failure. The wealthy mindset sees mistakes as refinement. The poor mindset waits for permission. The wealthy mindset makes the decision. The poor mindset asks, what if it doesn't work out? The wealthy mindset answers, what if it does? The difference isn't in the events themselves. It's in the internal story each mind tells about those events. Picture two people facing the same financial challenge. The first one panics, thinks about giving up, blames the system. The second one breathes, observes, adapts, and grows. It's not the outside world that determines who prospers. It's the story you tell yourself as everything unfolds. This is the mindset of the prosperous. They create empowering meanings. Even in loss. Even in uncertainty. Even when everything seems to say otherwise. Rich people don't avoid discomfort. They turn it into a gateway. They know fear is the bodyguard of big leaps. And that's why they move forward, even when they're shaking. They don't look for guarantees. They seek momentum. Because they've already figured this out. Life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who take their place. And here's a question that could shift your mindset right now. How would a wealthy person think about this situation I'm facing? Ask yourself this question when you're facing a choice, a problem, a financial decision, and watch the magic happen. You'll start accessing new answers because you're aligning with a new internal model. Because everything begins with giving yourself permission to think differently, to imagine what once seemed impossible, to act like someone who already has it, even before it shows up. After all, it's not the money that makes the millionaire. It's the mindset that inevitably attracts the money. And this mindset has clear qualities: clarity of intention, full responsibility, refusal to complain, a love for learning, openness to growth, inner confidence, even when everything feels dark. You can start today to rehearse this new role, wear this new frequency, step into this new character, who, in reality, has always been you. The mindset of the prosperous isn't a gift. It's a choice, a reprogramming, a daily reminder that you are greater than your fears. And in the next chapter, we'll dive into one of the core blocks in this process, your level of worthiness. Because behind every stagnation, there's almost always a hidden thought. I don't deserve it. Keep listening. What's coming next could unlock the flow of abundance trapped inside you. You can learn all the techniques, repeat affirmations, visualize your bank account growing, study financial strategies. But if deep down you still feel unworthy, none of that will work. This is the blind spot, the invisible hole where your prosperity slips away. Because the universe, the mind, energy, call it what you will, doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you believe you deserve. And the problem is many carry old guilt, shame, unhealed wounds. They grew up hearing they weren't good enough, that they were always wrong, that they had to prove their worth constantly. And that feeling of, I'm not enough, became a lens, a silent sentence saying, who am I to be rich? Who am I to have more than my parents had? What if I get rejected for succeeding? Bob Proctor used to say, the only thing that separates you from what you want is the image you have of yourself. Think about that for a moment. If you see yourself as limited, broken, or less than, your subconscious will work to keep that identity intact. Even if it means rejecting opportunities, even if it means losing clients, even if it means living in constant scarcity. Because the subconscious doesn't want you to change. It wants you to be safe. And to it, safety means familiarity. That's why so many people, when they start to prosper, find a way to lose it all shortly after. It's not lack of intelligence. It's an unconscious loyalty to a poor self-image. So, how do you change this? The answer isn't more effort. It's more self-worth. You need to rewrite the code of who you believe yourself to be. And that starts with small decisions. Saying no when you mean no. Taking care of your body and your energy. Stopping the need to explain yourself just to be accepted. Accepting compliments without shrinking away. Charging what you're truly worth. And above all, treating yourself like someone who's pure gold. Because you'll only receive from the world what you believe you deserve from yourself. Life's game isn't about fighting for worthiness. It's about remembering you already are worthy, that your very existence is proof of your value. You weren't born to beg for crumbs. You were born to overflow. And when you shift the question from, can I, to, what's stopping me from accepting that I can, the whole structure begins to crumble. You don't need to convince yourself anymore. You just need to stop resisting. Here's a simple yet powerful exercise. Tonight before you sleep, place your hand on your chest and say softly, as if talking to your inner child, I deserve this. I accept this. I am ready. Repeat it until your voice sounds true. Because it's more than time to stop fighting for validation and start receiving like you were born to. In the next chapter, we'll unlock the most misunderstood secret of all, the creative power of thought. You'll discover why what you think isn't just thought, it's creation. Keep listening. What's coming next could change the way you see reality forever. It might sound like just a thought, but it's not. You think, and something shifts. An invisible field rearranges itself. A signal is sent. A new frequency starts to vibrate. Bob Proctor used to say, thought is energy, and energy, when held with faith, becomes physical form. But the world never taught you that. They taught you that thinking is harmless, neutral, just confined to the mind. But think about it. Before any reality, there was an idea. Before a house, there was a blueprint. Before a song, there was inspiration. Before your current reality, there was a series of thoughts. Everything you live today is simply the result of old thoughts that took shape. Think of it like a cosmic 3D printer. Your thought is the mold. Your emotion is the energy that activates the mold. Your action is the command that finishes the process. So, what have you been printing? What thoughts have been dominating? Scarcity? Fear? Guilt? Shame? Or abundance? Self-confidence? Possibility? Here's the thing. You don't have to control every thought. But you do need to consistently nurture the ones you want to see take form. It's like watering a seed. You don't have to shout at it to grow. You just need to keep watering it, caring for it, with quiet faith. The problem is, many people think one thing but feel another. They want wealth, but vibrate with fear of scarcity. They want love, but carry resentment. And the physics of the universe is clear. You don't attract what you say you want. You attract what you truly feel you are. And that feeling comes from repeated thought. So, change begins when you decide to think differently, consistently. Think rich. Think light. Think big. Think like someone who already has it. Think like someone who already is it. And above all, think like someone who trusts. Because thought born from faith has a power that transcends time. It shapes, attracts, transforms. Even when everything seems still. The mind is the starting point of all creation. It's the invisible womb where everything begins to take shape. And you're creating all the time. The question is, are you creating what you truly desire? In the next chapter, we'll dive into the field where this creation materializes most powerfully. The power of visualization. You'll learn how to use your mind as a portal to a future that already exists, just waiting for you to allow it. Keep listening. What's next is where the magic starts to gain color, sound, and life. Close your eyes and see. See it with your mind, not your eyes. Feel it with your heart, not your hands. Because everything you desire already exists on an invisible plane, waiting for your permission to take form in the physical world. Bob Proctor said, "If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand." But here's the secret no one told you. Visualization isn't just imagining. It's living in anticipation. When you visualize with deep emotion, you tune into the frequency of what you want. And the universe responds to that frequency, not your words. Think of a radio. If you want to hear station 98.1, you have to tune precisely to that frequency. You can't expect to hear that station while tuned somewhere else. The same goes for abundance. You can't attract abundance by visualizing scarcity. You can't live in freedom while feeding thoughts of imprisonment. Visualization is the tuning dial. It determines which reality you're vibrating in. But be careful. Visualization isn't just about seeing pretty scenes. It's about feeling yourself inside them, adding scent, sound, texture, breath. Moving from "I want this" to "this is already mine." Visualization is like rehearsing on the stage of your mind until the universe delivers the show on the stage of your life. And the more you practice, the more your subconscious accepts that image as truth. And when it does, it starts working silently to make it real. You begin making different decisions, feeling different, noticing new possibilities. Everything changes because you've changed inside. Now, pause for a moment and take a breath. Inhale. So, close your eyes for a second and imagine this. You wake up in the home of your dreams. The room is calm and quiet. Soft light filters gently through the window. You feel peace. You rise with ease, walk out onto the balcony, and take in the life you've created. You feel gratitude. You feel whole. You know you've arrived. Now listen closely. If you were able to feel that, you've already begun to create. That's the power of visualization. It defies logic. It breaks through time. It crosses every boundary. And it connects you to your highest self. But there's something even more powerful than just visualizing alone. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the space where visualization meets the highest vibration of creation. Emotion. You'll discover why feeling is the fuel of manifestation, and how to use that energy to your advantage every single day. Keep listening, because now, we're getting closer to the turning point. Have you ever noticed how a memory can bring you to tears? Or how a simple song can give you chills? That's not just memory at work. That's emotion in motion. Bob Proctor used to say, "Emotion is the activating force. Without it, there is no creation." You can think positively. You can visualize every single day. But if you don't feel it, if you don't vibrate with it, nothing will move. Because emotion is what breathes life into thought. It's like the breath that turns clay into a sculpture. It's the spark that ignites the invisible. Picture this. Two people say the exact same sentence. One says it with passion, with a sparkle in their eyes, with truth. The other says it on autopilot, empty, lifeless. You feel the difference, don't you? That's how the universe responds. Not to what you say, but to what you emit. When you truly feel it, you activate what Neville Goddard called the state of the wish fulfilled. You live as if it's already real. And when you do that, your vibrational field shifts. Your body shifts. Your mind shifts. Your frequency shifts. And then the reality around you is forced to rearrange itself. But maybe you're wondering, how can I feel wealthy if my bank account is empty? The answer is simple. You don't feel what you see. You see what you feel. Feeling comes first. Reality responds after. You don't need money to feel freedom. You don't need applause to feel worthy. You just need to tap into the source inside you. And that source is activated through practice, through intention, through small daily decisions to align with your most prosperous self. Emotion is energy in motion, and any energy that moves with direction creates. So now the question is, what will you start feeling more often? Love for yourself? Gratitude for what you already have? Faith in what's coming? Joy in the little wins? Peace in knowing you're on the right path? The choice is yours, because creation is yours, life is yours, and you have always had the power, from the very beginning. Now that you've made it this far, take a deep breath, feel what's shifted inside you. The seed has been planted, and it's already starting to sprout. If this message touched something deep within you, come back to it whenever you need a reminder of who you truly are. Your subconscious learns through repetition, and transformation happens silently, in layers. If you stayed until the end, know this: it wasn't by chance. You're ready for the next level, ready to build your new identity, your new reality. Now I invite you to write in the comments, "I was born to be rich," if you're committed to your transformation. And if this journey resonates with you, just imagine what's coming in the next videos. Subscribe now to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can keep expanding your consciousness day by day. You're not alone. We're in this together, on this journey of awakening. Until the next deep dive.